Mr. Speaker,
Order. Questions for oral answer. Mr. Lim Biao Chuan.
Mr. Speaker, may I take questions 1 to 9 together, please?
Please do.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the MPs who have raised important questions. There are several key questions I hope to address in this reply. The first question is whether the CPF payout eligibility age has been shifted from 65 to 70. The answer is no. As MPs are aware, the payout eligibility age, or PEA for short, is the earliest age at which CPF members can start their monthly retirement payouts. From 1st January 2018, the PEA has been 65. It is still 65 today. We have not shifted the PEA from 65 to 70, as was alleged by a spurious online post. Members can start their retirements anytime from 65. The second question is whether the policy has been changed to now require CPF members to come forward to start their retirement payouts. The answer is again no. This is in fact a long-standing practice, and there has been no change. Members can instruct CPF board when to start their retirement payouts at any time after they reach their PEA. Members are in the best position to decide based on their individual circumstances. It is also the same approach as in many other countries. There is no advantage for CPF board or government to want members to defer their payouts beyond 65. Those who defer their payouts in fact enjoy the higher interest paid on their CPF monies. Members who have reached their PEA can instruct CPF board at any time to start their retirement payouts. Let me explain how the process works for those on the Retirement Sum Scheme, or RSS, which is the main retirement payout scheme for members born before 1958. The members are now aged 61 and above. About 6 months before their PEA, RSS members will receive a letter from CPF board informing them that they can start their payouts anytime from the PEA. The form to start the payouts is attached. Members only need to fill in basic information: their name, their NRIC, contact details, and bank account details. This gets sent back to the board. Alternatively, members can apply online through the CPF website or come to a CPF service center. Members who do not instruct CPF board to start their payouts are reminded through their yearly statement of accounts. The third question is why the payouts start automatically at age 70. In the past, some RSS members had their savings intact in their CPF accounts until they passed away. They never touched it at all. This is unsatisfactory. We therefore introduced a latest payout start age of 70 for members turning 70 from 2018. Even if such members have not applied to start payouts, CPF board will start the payouts for them. But I must again emphasize, if a member wants to start his payout before 70, he can do so anytime from his PEA. He does not need to wait till 70. In other words, the latest payout start age is not the same thing as the PEA. It is a way to ensure members get to enjoy the benefit of their CPF savings by 70 at the latest. Members of the House may therefore recall that in October 2016, Parliament agreed to amend the CPF Act to bring this into effect. Some MPs who are still in the House today spoke in support of this amendment, including Mr. Chong Ki-Hiong, Engineer Dr. Lee Bee Wah, Mr. Louis Ng, Mr. Peng Eng Huat, and Mr. Saktiandi Supaat. Several members have asked if CPF board should automatically start payouts at age 65. Some are concerned about those experiencing financial hardship. I appreciate the reasons for MP's questions and also share your concerns. There are, in fact, tangible benefits to members when they start their payouts later. Members earn more interest and enjoy enhanced payouts. With every year that they defer their payouts, their CPF savings will earn risk-free interest of up to 6% a year, which is well above the interest rates they would get in the market. This 6% includes the extra interest of 1% for the first 60,000 and additional extra interest of 1% for the first $30,000. For members on CPF Live, for every year deferred, the payouts go up by up to 7%. For 5 years of deferral, that is up to 35% more. Members may therefore prefer to start their CPF retirement payouts later. This is especially so if they have other savings to draw on that are earning low interest, or if they are still working. But if the payouts automatically start at 65, such members will also automatically not get the benefits of deferral. At the end of 2017, 6 in 10 members on the RSS who had reached their PEA that year did not start their payouts. Even by the time RSS members reach 70, about half have not come forward to start their retirement payouts. Some among them may have consciously decided to keep their savings in CPF because they had no need of the payouts and also because they wanted to earn the higher interest. Others may not have known that they could have started their payouts earlier and thus did not instruct CPF board. The right thing to do, therefore, is to reach out to those members who may not have a good understanding and give them clear and simple information to help them make their decisions. With the benefit of knowledge, those who wish to can still start their payouts anytime after 65. The fifth question, which Ms. Fumi Ha, Ms. Cheryl Chan, and Mr. Liang Ying Hua have asked is whether CPF board can improve its communications with members. The answer is yes. While CPF board has stepped up outreach efforts, there is much room for improvement in the way it communicates key issues, such as starting payouts. For example, we will review the letters sent to members who are approaching their PEA so as to avoid misunderstandings which confuse the members unnecessarily. The board has also started to invite all members reaching the PEA to attend and benefit from a CPF retirement planning service from the start of this year. This is a face-to-face service in which a CPF board officer provides personalized guidance. In addition, we will work with other agencies to reach out to CPF members. For example, where appropriate, staff at the social service offices will ask members who approach the SSOs for financial help whether they have activated their CPF payouts and assist them to do so if they wish. We will also collaborate with the Silver Generation Office to communicate this issue to elderly members. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to take this opportunity to clarify the position for CPF Life, which is a relatively new scheme. Members who joined CPF Life prior to July 2015 may have been confused whether they too have to come forward to activate their payouts when they reach PEA. Some pointed out that the latest payout start age of 70 was not mentioned in previous communications with them. Let me assure these members that nothing has changed for them. They joined CPF Life before July 2015. Back then, there was no flexibility to defer CPF Life payouts, and the policy letter has already stated that the payouts would start from their PEA. For such members, CPF board will indeed start payouts at PEA, unless otherwise instructed. In fact, by the end of 2018, about 35,000 of such members had already started to receive their payouts upon reaching their PEA, which is what they expected. Members who joined CPF Life after July 2015 will be like members on the RSS. They can start their payouts anytime between their PEA and 70 by instructing CPF board. Mr. Speaker, allow me to conclude. All members can start their payouts anytime after PEA by issuing a simple instruction to CPF Board. This has not changed. However, the exact payout application process and letters sent to members may vary depending on each member's particular circumstances, such as whether they are on RSS or when they joined CPF Life. Hence, CPF members should not rely on letters sent to others. They should instead contact CPF Board if they are in doubt about any letter sent to them. With your permission, Mr. Speaker, may I ask the clerk to distribute handouts summarizing the key points of my reply?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, for brevity, I have circulated the English version of this handout, but I want to assure members that we are producing it in all 4 official languages, and they will be made available to you to disseminate to your residents, whoever may feel that this is useful. We will also be happy to collaborate with members to share relevant information with their residents through talks, through seminars, through sessions that are organized for specific CPF topics. And this offer will hold at any point in time that members wish to activate it. Thank you.
Mr. Lim Biao Chuan.
Thank you, Minister, for clarifying that the payout eligibility age has not shifted from age 65 to 70. I think this is very important and very reassuring for CPF members. But Minister, I'm concerned that about 60% of CPF members do not come forward to withdraw their CPF when they reach 65 years old. I think Minister said that about half of CPF members do not come forward to withdraw their CPF even when they have reached 70 years of age. Now, this is an area of concern because it's not a small number of people. Could it be that a large number of these CPF members may not do anything about it because they don't know the procedure? Or could it be that they've forgotten about the need to apply to withdraw their CPF savings? It's a big number. I mean, if you're saying just a small percentage, then I can understand that, well, they don't read their mail or they forgot about it. But it is quite a large number, and I'm concerned. So, Minister has said that CPF Board starts the payout automatically for a member when the member reaches 70 years of age. Now, if CPF Board can do so at 70, why not make the payout automatic at the age of 65? Just credit their account automatically unless the member opts and chooses to fill in an application to say that they don't want to do so. They don't want to withdraw. I think the point is that we need to assure every member that CPF Board will be able to honor any request to withdraw their CPF savings when it is due for payment. And really, this is about preserving the good faith and trust in CPF Board. So we need to, I urge the Minister to try to dispel any doubts that CPF Board is deliberately withholding back members' CPF monies even though they had reached the payout eligibility age. I just wanted to add that I appreciate that benefits of higher interest. In fact, when I reached 55, I made a conscious decision to leave my monies in CPF Board simply because the interest paid on the CPF savings is much better, and as the government has reassured us repeatedly, it is risk-free. So thank you very much, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the member, Mr. Lim, has asked a very important question. The points that he's raised are not trivial at all, and I must share with members that I gave serious thought to the possibility of shifting the automatic start date to 65. But there are several concerns, and I should share them with you. Now, there will be a group of members who are actually aware of the benefits of payout deferral, but they too forget to come forward to instruct the CPF Board to defer the payouts. There will be such individuals. Mr. Lim may become one of them. Another group may not be aware But actually, they don't need the payouts just yet, even after they have reached their payout eligibility age. And it is entirely possible that this group will grow over time. After all, between the age of 65 to 69, today, our employment rate is about 40%. And with good health, I think we can expect more people to want to work longer. And if indeed they are still receiving incomes, they may find that the CPF payouts is somewhat unnecessary at that point in time. So when we weigh, what about these two groups? I think both groups may not be so happy that the CPF board made an assumption to start the payouts that deprive them of the benefits, if we were indeed to have such a mechanical approach as well. Also, there is another concern that weigh heavily, and that is that I'm quite wary of making yet another sudden change. When we have actually, for years, told CPF members that the payouts start when they instruct CPF board. So this has been the long-standing instruction. Tomorrow we decide otherwise, we go out. How can we be sure everyone gets the message too? And I think that is the central lesson we have learned. Every time there is a change, it actually takes a long while for people to get used to it. And so each time we make another change, we say, okay, then those people who were on the previous system get to keep that previous approach. Then it starts from a new time. From then onwards, this group is slightly different treatment. Those kind of changes actually risk confusing people even more. So on balance, I suggest that we focus on improving the communications for the policy as it currently stands. With the benefit of knowledge, the CPF members can still start their retirement payouts anytime after 65. And I think if we keep to this consistent line, there is less risk of further confusion.
Mr. Liang Eng-hua.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad that the minister said that the CPF will review the letter that's to be sent to the members when the members reach 65. I would like to ask the minister whether I hope that the CPF can review this particular statement that is made in the letter. I quote, "No action is required if you wish to start your payout at age of 70." Unquote. This line is in bold. It's repeated twice. This is the only line that's in bold. Perhaps that's the reason why people are confused, or why is there really a shift in the withdrawal, the payout age. And indeed, like what Minister said, this is a new policy. There's some changes over the years. Perhaps more thoughtful communication should be put out, should be considered so that there's no unnecessary anxieties to the members.
Mr. Speaker, I wholeheartedly support what Mr. Liang has suggested. We definitely can improve the way we communicate with CPF members. Today, CPF engages with members through a variety of means. Letters are just one of them. The letters, actually also because CPF board administers quite a wide range of government schemes. MediShield, MediShield Life, MediSave disbursements, silver support, workfare income supplement. If you put together all the letters that CPF board sends out, there are actually about 220 types. And obviously, some of them have the risk of not being entirely clear in the communications. So we will definitely put effort into improving them. There is also an avenue which we want to encourage CPF members to use. There are 5 CPF service centers island-wide. At each of these CPF service centers, they are staffed by officers who are conversant in all the major languages, especially, of course, our 4 official languages. So even if a member was unable to understand the letter that has been sent to them, we hope by the very fact that they saw the CPF logo, that they will know that they can always approach the service center. A staff will be happy to take them through in a language that they're comfortable in. So that's something that we will make as a commitment. In fact, CPF Board has already started inviting members to come forward. At the age of 55, the invitation is extended to every member. And from this year onwards, once they reach their payout eligibility age, which is 65, we will equally invite the member to come again, so that the CPF Board can provide personalized guidance, face-to-face. Any question that is not clear, any doubts that they have, on the spot, make the explanation available to them and reassure them.
Mr. Peng Eng Huat.
Thank you, sir. I just have a supplementary question for the minister. Did the NOM reach out to those people who did not activate their payout at PEA or even beyond 70 to find out why, in a sense, to do a survey to this group of people since we know who they are?
There are two parts to that question. Do we reach out to them? The answer is yes, because everyone gets the yearly statement of accounts. And CPF's records will show whether the member has reached the PEA but has not activated the payouts, in which case CPF Board will remind the individual that so-and-so, you have actually reached the PEA, you are eligible to start your payouts, here is the form, activate it anytime you want. But the second part of it is that, do we ask them why they haven't started or activated their payouts? Here is where I think we have to be a little bit careful. People have a right to their privacy. And CPF Board must be quite mindful that not everyone wants to tell the board the reasons for their actions. So therefore, if we want to establish amongst those who have not started their payouts, who actually is aware and made a conscious decision not to start it, who was not aware and did not come forward to instruct the board, I think this will be quite a major exercise. We think there's some value in doing so, but we will have to find a way of doing so that the member does not feel very intruded upon.
Associate Professor Walter Teixeira.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I thank the Minister for her comprehensive reply. I have three supplementary questions. First, I think some of the public unhappiness is perhaps due to the gap between the retirement age at 62 and the payout eligibility age at 65. Some are concerned that they have difficulty making ends meet between retirement and the start of payouts. Would the Ministry consider aligning the retirement age with the PEA in the future to allow for a seamless transition between work income and CPF income? Second, the default out at the moment, I think, is a good move because it improves the retirement adequacy. But at the same time, members may want assurance, as other members House members have said, of knowing that their payouts will commence and that the mechanism for paying out is sound. Could we consider starting with perhaps a lower payout at first at the payout eligibility age and then scaling up to the full payout at 70 or on application of the member? And the last question is, what is known right now about the use of payouts at the earlier payout eligibility ages? That is, are the payouts used for expenses, or do they sit largely in 0% or close to 0% savings accounts? It seems that studying this and publicizing it may allow the public to understand why we have this policy and how it helps them. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member for his supplementary questions. Let me deal with the first one on retirement age. In Singapore, actually, together with Japan, besides the retirement age, there is actually the re-employment age. We are, to the best of our knowledge, the only two countries, together with Japan, in the world that has, beyond the retirement age, the provision for re-employment. And in the Singapore context, re-employment age, when it was first implemented, was to age 65. This was in 2012. And then in 2017, July of 2017, we raised the re-employment age to 67. So in fact, Singaporeans have the assurance of employment beyond the retirement age of 62. In fact, it can go all the way up to 67. In any case, both the retirement age and the re-employment age are being reviewed. A tripartite work group was set up last year. It's making good progress. I hope to be able to update members during the COS debate. Now then, let me turn to the second question. I believe the member has suggested, if you're concerned about starting the payouts at 65, why not start with a smaller payout? I think it can be looked into, but I suppose the question the members will also have is, how do you decide what is a small payout? And in any case, if you're going to start with a small payout, why don't you just start with the whole payout? So I think those questions will be conflated. The third, I'm very glad that the member asked this question. What is the typical use of the payout? We don't have very clear indications about what happens to the payouts once they start being streamed out on a monthly basis. And I think there is good reason to also not be too precise about the use of those monthly payouts, because they will be commingled with contributions from other family members, perhaps personal savings. It will be very hard to tease apart what part of that money can be attributed to the CPF payouts, what part attributed to the children's allowances. So there is some difficulty with that. But what people do with their withdrawals at age 55 is instructive. For that part, our survey suggests that up to half, in fact slightly over half of the members, after taking the withdrawals from their CPF accounts at the age of 55, more than half, slightly over half of them, just put it in a bank account, earning much poorer interest rates. Then that actually is a very useful reminder that people are not always so savvy about what is the best deal that they can get on their savings. And there is some merit to the current practice of just automatically deferring it for them. They get to earn much better interest rate. And when they want to start their payouts, it is still available to them anytime.
Ms. Fumiha.
Thank you. I thank the Minister for her very comprehensive response. I would like to actually refer to a recent exchange on the forum pages of Lian He Jiao Pao on CPF retirement sum scheme. A CPF member had complained that CPF board would stretch his payouts over 28 years until he's 93. And he had requested, he thought it should be 20 years. On the assumption he thinks if the tenure is shorter, he will get more over these 20 years. So I would like to ask the Minister of Manpower the basis by which payouts for CPF retirement sum scheme are calculated. So how do you calculate? Why do you decide it's 28 and not 20? Whether CPF members can have the flexibility to choose the tenure of the payout period within the prescribed limits. And C, actually, why do we still have the CPF maintains this CPF retirement sum scheme and not with, and only apply it to people with lower CPF balances and not include everyone on the CPF life scheme, which I believe is a superior scheme? And Speaker, may I have a second supplementary question which relates to this discussion about the important decision of starting at 65. So maybe this question the Minister could answer is, whether a CPF member who have then started to had chosen payouts to begin at 65, so they're worried and they chose to PEA at 65, later found out it's a better deal, right, and want to stop the payout and ask to defer to 70. Can this be done? And if this request is made, how do you then calculate the payouts for the remaining period? Let's say this person has enjoyed it for a year and then asks at 66, I want to defer to 70. What happens? And I think that would inform the decision. Some of the members are asking for automatic trigger at 65. What happens? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, Singapore has one of the highest life expectancy in the world. In 2017, more than half, 1 in 2, Singapore residents aged 65 was expected to live beyond 85. 1 in 5 of them was expected to live to about 95 or above. So when designing the RSS payouts, initially they were meant to last 20 years, taking into account the base interest rate on the retirement account, which is now 4%. So consider the fact that they will earn 4%, consider the fact that RSS payouts should last 20 years, then you work out what the payout will be. So a current RSS member reaching his payout eligibility age of 65 will get a base payout that would last till approximately 85. That's what it is. What this means, however, is that more than half of the members still alive at 85 will have no CPF payouts at all. And this would be a major cause for concern. The better solution for the member to managing this longevity risk is CPF Life, which provides lifelong payouts. However, because CPF Life is mandatory only for those turning age 65 in 2023 with 60,000 in retirement account balance, most of our elderly will still not be on CPF Life, but they remain on the retirement sum scheme. With this concern in mind, the government introduced the CPF extra interest about 10 years ago and the additional extra interest in 2016. So these came about a decade ago and 3 to 4 years ago. This bonus interest provided by the government is used to extend the RSS payouts beyond 20 years. So we took the base payout and then we said, here is the extra interest and the additional extra interest. How much longer can you stretch it? And in this way, the members will enjoy payouts for longer and there's less risk that their savings will run out. But we also put in a cap so that the payouts do not extend past 95 years old. This will already cover about 4 in 5 elderly, so about 80% of them will be covered by this sort of a duration extension. Now then, to the question of whether members can request for shorter payout duration under RSS. In general, the extra interest and the additional extra interest provided by the government is used to extend the duration of the RSS payouts and reduce the risk of the members outliving their savings. In some cases, CPF Board allows flexibility for members to request for a shorter payout duration. For example, the members may have topped up beyond their full retirement sum, and they can have their payout duration extended. They come forward and discuss with CPF Board how to get it arranged. RSS members can also consider joining CPF Life, the choice that they can make. Because of risk pooling, not only will they enjoy lifelong payouts, they may also enjoy higher payouts. In fact, I'm happy to share with the member that about 92,500 RSS members have taken up CPF Life voluntarily. They were not mandated to do so, but they probably either did their own sums or visited a service center, were shown what the payouts would look like under CPF Life, and then decided on their own accord to sign up for CPF Life, 92,500. So then the question is, why keep the retirement sum scheme? Why not make everybody come on board? This is one of the challenges for CPF Life and indeed many government schemes. Members had a certain understanding, and when we introduce changes or new schemes, we have to be very careful to whom it applies. The RSS members were told that they were on RSS. We don't just decide on their behalf that they will henceforth be on CPF Life. For newer cohorts, when CPF Life was introduced, Certain cohorts onwards, it was made mandatory. But that's because they have the benefit of advanced understanding and knowledge. But for those who were already on a prior scheme, I think we're very careful about changing things for them. But the solution really is then to reach out to them, show them how it works for them, and let them decide. Then to your final question, can an individual, having started his payouts, decide to stop and defer to 70? Here I want to be very careful about not making a generalized statement, because as I explained, the circumstances may differ for every individual. So I would urge the member to come forward. We will look at his particular circumstances, and if it serves his interest, it is helpful to him, we will see how we can support him.
Chong Ki-hyung.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. Thank you, Minister. It's very important to encourage those with lower CPF balances to defer their withdrawal till 70 years old, so that they could get a higher payout down the road. So I think that's one of the key objectives of this scheme. Could a CPF board consider providing even more incentive to encourage this group, such as those with less than basic retirement sum in their CPF balance, and even higher tiered interest rate for their balances, so as to give them more incentive to defer their withdrawal? Thank you.
Actually, the incentives are already very generous. For every year of payouts deferred, those on CPF Life stand to earn or get higher payouts of up to 7% more. And if they deferred it for all 5 years, actually they get up to 35% more. So I think, however, not everyone has hoisted this on board. I'm aware that former Minister for Manpower, Lim Swee Say, for example, has conducted multiple engagement sessions in his constituency, helping his residents understand the benefits of deferring their payouts. I'd very much like to encourage all members to do likewise. CPF Board will be very happy to support you in this endeavor. The incentives are there. It's very much for the members, for the CPF members, to take advantage of them.
Ms. Jessica Tan.
Minister, thank you for the clarification, because I think there's been so much confusion, and that is an important, having that discussion is important. I'd just like to ask a supplementary question with regards to the default age of the payouts. I understand that the rationale for putting default at 70 is to allow for the benefits, the additional benefits to the member. But at the point of the letter going out to the members, is it possible to just make it simple for them to confirm if they wish to withdraw? I know they can withdraw at the start of PA, but it's a matter of emphasis. And if they could allow for the member to just confirm whether they wish to have the payments starting at 65, because it gives the assurance that they can do it. Today, it seems that it's the other way around. So it's just a matter of emphasis. And if they say no, then you can do the rest of the communication on the benefits, or if they say yes, just to confirm with them the benefits of keeping it there. It's just to give the member the assurance that they can withdraw, start the payouts.
The short answer is yes. We will have to take a look at the letters. I think it's best to message test. It's probably best to gather some members and ask them which letter is intuitively, easier for you to understand. So we will do so.
Mr. Peng Eng Huat.
So just one more question for the Minister. For members who did not want to withdraw their, for members who do not want to start their payout at PEA, will they be reminded again every year until age 70?
Absolutely. They are reminded year after year through the yearly statement of account.
Mrs. Saktiandi.
Thank you, Minister, for explaining the reasoning behind the 65 to 70. I have a specific question with regards to a certain segment of the population. For example, if somebody is incapacitated, mentally incapacitated before 65, will it affect his trigger at 70 or 65 in the situation where he doesn't have an LPA, or lasting power attorney at 65? And what's the situation that CPF, how will CPF sort of handle the situation at a point when the person reaches 65 years of age? So what I mean is that, if somebody is mentally incapacitated at 65, he doesn't have an LPA, does he have to wait until it's triggered at 70? Or how is there a specific situation in such a circumstance? Thank you.
I wouldn't want to speculate. The specific circumstances may differ, but in principle, the same rules apply to this individual. If by 70 there has been no instruction received, CPF board will also stream out the payments. The challenge, of course, is whether you have the right details. Do we have the bank account details? Are we able to reach him to confirm the details? That is one set of issues. But if he does not have the lasting power of attorney, then it will be very hard to see how the CPF board could be instructed to start the payouts even before 70. But we will have to look at the specific instance, so I think best not to speculate. Thanks.
Ms. Fumiha?
Minister, I just wanted to clarify my earlier supplementary question. I asked the question that, first, I think you mentioned CPF Life only applies to CPF members with minimum 60,000 balance, right? So why is that so? Why can't you let everybody enjoy CPF Life? Thank you.
Everyone can enjoy CPF Life, but there are certain members whose balances are not very high, and for them, they might find that a lifelong payout at those levels are not very meaningful to them. So again, we do not presume to decide on their behalf. We say that if your balances are below a certain amount, better you decide. Let us know. And quite a number have decided that they will come on board. They are part of that 92,500 that I shared with you. They can still come on board. We will not deny them the opportunity to do so. It's just that we don't decide on their behalf.